I could clearly say that this is probably the only semi-truck in the world with an aquarium in it.
That's factually true.
Is that right? I mean, what we got here? Come on, tell me what we got in here right now.
So, those are freshwater fish.
Yep.
So those are Dysons in the back. That's actually a native crawfish to the state of Florida. See how it's blue. So that is my old windshield washer reservoir, and we decided to turn it into a fish tank.
That's disclaimer. PETA and all the world out there.
No fish were harmed in the.
No fish were harmed. The truck was here.
Yes.
Josh does not drive with
Do
fish
not drive
in there.
Yeah.
Basically, they set it up after.
Correct. Yeah. We don't move the truck with the fish attached to the firewall. Ask me all the time how you put fuel in it. It's an electric switch.
Oh my God.
Believe it or not, we do run it enough to have to add fuel. Without the fish on the firewall.
Oh yeah, no fish were harmed.
Yeah, this is a great truck to take my wife and kid out for ice cream.
Wow, look at that. Life. The easiest.
I've seen how you treat people on this thing.
You better stop. You better stop. Please introduce yourself, brother.
My name's Josh Birch. I'm the president of East Texas Truck Center.
I love it. I love it. Josh and I are friends, and so all I have to say is we've seen this truck in the back, and there has been a lot of history, but a little bit of miscommunication. And now it's in your hands.
Man, that's a good way to put it, miscommunication, right? So what we have here is obviously disorderly conduct. It's been around since 2010, back when Paul Voigt had it. And if you remember back in the day, it had the big reefer behind it. It was a working show truck. And Brian at Chrome Shop Mafia did the original build, did the original paint design. And if you look at the truck, there's still a lot of the same exact features that Brian did at Chrome Shop Mafia that are from 2010 that are still definitively there today. And if you look at the fenders, they got the traditional Chrome Shop Mafia Tommy gun located in the fenders. He did the clear fuel tanks. He also did the interior.
Let's walk in. Let's show them a little bit so that we can actually. Yeah.
So this right here is one of my favorite features on the truck. It's been here since 2010 whenever Brian and the guys at Chrome Shop did it for Mr. Paul. So this actually lights up, and that's their logo in it. And this truck was ahead of its time in 2010, and they did the clear fuel tanks. So that's actually been on there for the last 12 years, those exact fuel tanks. Now we've obviously changed out the glass and the gaskets and things like that over the time, but those are there. And Rockwood and Chrome Shop did the 359 dash all the way back in 2010 as well. So this build was those core pieces were there in 2010, and Mr. Paul sold the truck in 13, and that's when Mr. Todd and Miss Beth at Clean Slate Environmental, Widowmaker and all those guys, so they got it in 2013 and took it all the way back down to frame. So, and I have probably 15,000 pictures of this thing in Mr. Todd's shop where it's all the way back down to frame. And so they went back with it, and they kept the paint design. They added some things to, just fresh paint. But the thing is, they came in and they took something that was already a great build with the clear fuel tanks and with the guns and things like that, and kind of incorporated a little bit more gun theme in it,
So what did they do?
So they come in here, they airbrush the Tommy gun in here.
Ain't that something?
Yeah, it's airbrushed all the way through. You see the bullets traveling down the drive line. And if you follow that theme, that's something that Mr. Todd, if you look at all of his trucks that he's built, super theme oriented, but the theme carries through the whole entire from the back to the front.
Yeah.
So if you come back here in the end, you can see the bullet casings that are around every single one of these have all been fired. So every single one of them, and it carries all the way through, and throughout the whole entire truck, there's, I call them little Easter eggs, but there's bullet casings that have been inset in random places. There's some inset down here in the floor.
Wow. You really
Yeah.
would not know this without
No.
really looking.
These are bullet casings up here, and when we pop the hood, I'll show you how that whole entire theme transitions. But not only did they do that, they took this full sleeper off, completely shaved the bottom side, and put a new. That's all mirrored. Everything underneath here is mirrored,
Wow.
and it's been enclosed and sealed off and has lights. You know, so they took this build that was already. What Brian and Chrome Shop did was innovative in 2010. And then what Mr. Todd and Miss Beth did at Clean Slate in 2013 to 15 was just kind of like that next
level.
That next level, right? So you had a great mind originally touching it, and then you had another great mind. So they kind of put their stuff together and just kind of added to what was already there as a framework. If you remember back in 15 when this truck was here at 75, and it was at Matt's that year in Dallas, and I think it went to SEMA. Those were the only 4 shows that it was in 2015, and they came in and they had all the tribal drop panels. They had the boxes. I mean, this truck, but back then in that time frame, the builder class, that tribal and really loud and eccentric was the style, and so they did a lot of custom work to this deal from a steel standpoint. You know, all these are handmade.
Wow.
And one of my favorite things about it, and I'll go ahead and show it, but this is kind of the attention to detail that's on the truck. Every one of these have been O-ringed.
Wow. Okay.
So it doesn't mess up your wheel when you put them back on.
Just so much detail, right?
Yeah, it's just they took something that was great and they just added to it and added to it. And then it showed up at Super Rigs last year. You were there.
Yes.
So, and a good friend of mine, Truett, the owner of Equipment Express, struck up talking to him, and this is a truck that I was looking for, and Truett and I got together and we made a deal there and brought the truck back home to Texas. And then we took something that was already there, and Truett has been in the show truck world for a long time, and he's got a phenomenal team, Mr. Greg and Mr. Paul at his shop, and we were able to take a lot of the modifications that were in style in 2013 to 15 range and make modifications to those things. So like hand built all the drop panels, hand built the toolboxes, kind of a less is more right now. That's kind of the thing. You know, if you're going to do lights, do little, you know, just lower quantity of lights. And so we went in and made a lot of changes to it, and their guys have been great. And then we were able to take it to Matt's earlier in the year. And
what did you do? You took it. What did you win, brother? Tell us.
We earned it. So, but we ended up winning Best of Show for limited mileage, no mileage. So strictly show.
Hard class to win.
Yeah, this is strictly show. There's no rules here. You know, so you don't have to drive it in. You know, the guys you're competing against, they don't work their trucks generally, you know, and that's the whole deal, that this class is about taking our industry and turning it into art. You know, so I have that truck and we have the platform, and we get to do things that are extremely unique to the truck because we know that we're not putting it on the highway. So we get to go in and put the fuel tanks because we know we're not going to put it through the wear and tear that, you know, an American trucker would.
I heard that. So you hear that? So all the truck drivers out there that says, man, they don't drive this truck. Yes, this is strictly a show truck.
So my whole deal is, I own a dealer group and been very blessed. But every time I turn around and try to find a great technician, or we're trying to find a good operator, and my buddies that own the trucking companies, they can't find operators, and we're all struggling to find good qualified help. And the younger generation has just been push, college. And our industry, if you just look around here, I mean, this is cool.
Yeah,
Like old school trucking is cool.
What
we do is special. It's tight knit. Everyone here knows everybody. I mean, the guys that are here, we're at Matt's and we all hang out together. We all fellowship. When a guy's down on the road, I've had so many phone calls. Hey, I'm coming through Baytown. Can you help me? And we stick together. So a lot of these young bucks don't understand how cool our industry is. So my goal with this truck is not just to have a nice truck and come out here and promote my business, but it's to promote our industry, to let the younger generation know that what we do is cool. You can make it special, and these are some of the things that you can do to your truck. You can have fun with it.
I love that.
So and that's really the goal here, is if we can get a bunch of kids around this truck today, and like we did at Matt's, and they want to become part of our industry because something they saw here or on this truck or any other cool truck, then it's a dub.
Hey, I hear it.
And that's cooler than winning Matt's. Honestly, you should have seen the kids that were around here yesterday. It was amazing.
Well, they're gonna love it when we pop this hood.
I'm ready.
I could clearly say that this is probably the only semi truck in the world with an aquarium in it.
That's actually true.
Is that right? I mean, what we got here? Come on, tell me what we got in here right now.
So, those are freshwater fish.
Yep.
So those are Dysons in the back. That's actually a native crawfish to the state of Florida. See how it's blue? So that is my old windshield washer reservoir, and we decided to turn it into a fish tank.
That's a disclaimer. PETA and all the world out there.
No fish were harmed in the.
No fish were harmed. The truck was here.
Yes.
Josh does not drive with
Do
fish
not drive
in there.
Yeah.
Basically, they set it up after.
Correct. Yeah. We don't move the truck with the fish attached to the firewall.
And there is a pump in there.
Yep. They're getting air. They're circulating.
We'll show it. Look at that, guys. Okay, so. I think we got that part covered.
So we actually did a lot of research for this. So we actually went down and met with a guy down in Orlando, Florida, when we were here yesterday morning before we actually did this. So we checked the weather, got with him, and he's at Reefs and Rainforests. His name's Mr. Ernie. He's the owner there. He builds custom aquariums for SeaWorld, McDonald's. Like, he's done some pretty special projects. So with the weather being 85 here in Florida, we wanted to find fish that would be able to handle that type of weather. So this Dyson fish generally likes to live around 84 to 85 degrees.
So it's very happy right now.
It's exactly where it needs to be. If we were to put a goldfish in there, it's too warm.
I got you.
But so there was a lot of thought process that went into this, more than let's just throw some fish in it.
I hear you.
So they're where they need to be.
But when you say make it cool for the kids to love the industry,
so that's the thing. So at Matt's, we had a phenomenal time at Matt's, and everyone loved the truck.
Yeah.
And I was sitting around talking to my buddies, and we were looking at the tank, and I said, we need to add something for the truck for the kids. And a lot of great ideas are formed with some buddies sitting around drinking some beer. And we looked at that and said, I think I'm going to put a fish in it. And everyone kind of looked at me like I was crazy. And then everyone said, you know what, we should put a fish in it. So we did. We went home, cleaned it out, flushed it. We've been testing it before we came here to make sure that what we were going to do was feasible and worked. And we wanted something extremely unique for the kids to be able to come over here and just have something. And man, you should have, yesterday, the line of kids.
I love it.
Here.
I love it.
They want to see the truck with the fish.
When I see it, Josh, I love it. I mean, that is just so cool.
Yeah. It's different. The truck's already special. Like I was telling you about the guns. If you
right.
Look in the back, and you can see where it's Todd, and they've painted this. Yeah, they've actually even airbrushed the radiator through it. So it looks like it's penetrated.
Ain't that something crazy?
It's crazy detail. There's another bullet casing, just random, through in there. And then the bracketry, that was all done by down here. See the Tommy gun holding the exhaust?
I'll tell you. No, it's just so much specialty, and so, all this time, what did you do to take it to that next level?
Well, Truett, his guys at Equipment Express did the work for me.
Yeah.
And like I was saying earlier, less is more. It's a style right now. So we came in, changed all the paneling, we changed the boxes, we changed visors, mirrors, breathers, changed out the headlights. This truck's always had the rounds.
Yeah.
And we went back with the original double squares, just like it, had originally from factory in '99. And we've came in and changed a lot of things on the interior, where we've changed all the foot pedals. We put the glass in the sleeper, and Mr. Paul changed that out. And I can show you that.
Let's check it out.
So that is back how Mr. Paul had it originally. So we wanted to kind of go back with something that he did back in 2010. So we just made a change back to that, and that's been one of my favorite features. The light underneath the seat actually lights those pedals up at nighttime. You can really get a good solid look at it.
Oh yeah, no, this is so beautiful, brother.
Came in, added the disorderly conduct mirror.
Oh yeah.
Yep. There was a set of initials on this truck. Everywhere on there was a lot of initials. We wanted to go back and just promote the truck instead of myself.
I love it. I would say.
Did you see this last time you saw it?
Let me see. What?
So people ask me all the time how you put fuel in it. It's an electric switch.
Oh my God.
Believe it or not, we do run it enough to have to add fuel. Without the fish on the firewall.
Oh yeah, no fish were harmed.
Yeah, this is a great truck to take my wife and kid out for ice cream.
Wow, look at that. Because I was wondering, I was like, how the heck do you put fuel in this? There it is.
There it is.
There it is.
Yeah.
Overall, Josh, I appreciate the history. I thank you so much. And I appreciate that, just your honesty, right? A lot of people, like I said, have some miscommunications. And I could tell wholeheartedly, people, everyone on the internet, this man right here, he just wants to do good in this world, do good in trucking, and get some kids interested in it, right?
Yeah, so like yesterday, someone was like, how long have you been building on this truck? And I said, well, this truck, not I, has been being built on since 2010.
Yeah.
So people ask how it gets to this level. This is a 12-year build. And you have Chrome Shop, you have Tide, you have Equipment Express, all huge staples in the show truck world have all been able to put their touch on this truck and add to it. So it's not like something that starts from scratch and you have to have, it's just constantly adding to it. And like to this level, when we were at Matt's, someone said, well, man, there's nothing else you can do to this truck. Well, we had a fish tank. I mean, there's always something you can do to become more creative. And
I don't want to take the title ever away from the truck, but it might have to be the most custom truck with an aquarium inside it. I mean,
Yeah, we've been blessed to have it. So for sure, it's custom for sure. I mean, I've learned so much off of this truck on how to do stuff for me in the future with other trucks. So it's been a blessing for us to have.
Hey, Josh from East Texas Truck Center, man, go check them out.
Thank y'all. Appreciate y'all.
Yes, sir.